Hi there. All right, today we want to talk about subtracting mixed numbers. When we're going to subtract mixed numbers, we always want to start with our fractions. First of all, let's take a look at the picture. I'm going to show it in a picture, then I'm going to get rid of the picture and try it without the picture, just to subtract what we see in the problem. All right, in this picture, I have 3 and 1/3. I have 3 whole figures and 1/3 there. Now, from that, I want to take 1 and 2/3. Now, I don't show that because that's what I want to take away from it. I'm going to get rid of 1 and 2/3. We're going to start with the fractions first. I only have 1/3 and it says I have to take 2. Okay? Can I take 2 if I only have 1? Well, no, I can't. So what we want to do is we want to borrow. Just like in any subtraction you've ever done, if you can't subtract, you're going to borrow, you're going to regroup. Your number doesn't change, you're just going to rearrange everything. So here's how we rearrange it. Instead of looking at this as 3 whole things and 1/3, we're going to borrow from this whole number. And we're going to make it 2 whole things instead. So I'm going to change where my whole number is. Instead of 3, I'm going to change it back to 2. And I'm going to draw a line here to show that. Instead of 3, I'm going to make it 2. Now, I have 2 whole things here, and these are going to be my fractions now. This is my fraction part. They're all in thirds. How many thirds do you see? Well, I have 1 here and 3 there, so now I have 4 thirds. So instead of calling it 3 and 1/3, now I'm going to call it 2 and 4 thirds. What I've done is I've taken a whole one, 3/3, and the fraction, 1/3, and I've added it together, and that's given me 4 thirds, and that's what I've put right here. 2 and 4/3 is the same thing as 3 and 1/3. All I've done is I've regrouped it. And I know I've got an improper fraction here. I need that so I can do my subtraction. Let's go ahead and subtract here now. I have 4 thirds minus 2/3. That's 2/3. Okay? And if I did that in my picture, look, my 4 thirds, I'm going to get rid of 2/3. Get rid of this, get rid of this. That leaves me with 2 thirds. And now over here, 2 minus 1 leaves me with 1. I have 1 and 2/3 left over. 1 and 2/3. Let's go back and look at that borrowing again without a picture. Let's say we have 5 and 2/7, and I want to take 3 and 5/7 away from that. Well, if I only have 2/7, I can't take 5/7 from it. So I have to borrow. Okay? Now imagine, I have 5 whole things. They're all in 7 parts. 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. I have 5 whole things, and in the last picture I have 2 parts in the last picture. Well, now what I want to do is I want to borrow one of those whole things. So instead of 5, I want to go down to 4. Okay, so I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that last one, that 5th whole thing, I'm going to change to a fraction. So instead of counting that as 1, I'm going to count it as 7/7. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 whole things, and then 7/7, 2/7. I'm going to put those together. Okay? 7/7 and 2/7, and I'm going to get 9/7. So this is going to change to 9/7. Now I'm going to subtract it. 9 minus 5 is 4/7. 4 minus 3 is 1, and I would get 1 and 4/7. Okay, here comes the cheat. Okay, I want you to understand that what you're doing is you're taking away a whole one, you're changing it back to a fraction. If it's 7ths, it's going to be 7/7. If it's 5ths, it's going to be 5/5. Whatever a whole one is, okay, whatever the denominator is, numerator and denominator will be the same for a whole one. All right, here's the cheat. Here's how you borrow when you change it. If you have 6 and 1/3, and you needed to borrow for this, I was going to take 2 and 2/3, this number gets smaller by 1, and then you add these two numbers together. Add them together. That's going to give you your new numerator. The reason you can add them The whole one that I'm going to take is in three parts. It's 3/3 plus that 1/3. That's going to give me 4/3. Smaller by 1, add those two numbers. Smaller by 1, add those two numbers. So I have 5 now and 4/3. 4/3 minus 2/3, 2/3. 5 minus 2 is 3, and you would get 3 2/3. Okay? I know it's quick. You may need to rewind and look at it several times. Okay? But you'll get it. Keep paying attention. Keep working hard. You'll get there. I'll see you next time.